do you assemble an Ikea Malm desk? It's really simple. I'll take you through it in the next few minutes. Okay, so we'll start with the top upside down on the floor. That's how it's meant to start. So this large bit obviously is the top. So we'll lay that face down, as I say, either on a rug or on the carpet for these. This is one where it probably is fine to use the Ikea tool to tighten them up. So just get that on there, just spin it around, and eventually what I've done is I've just located each of these in the holes. It's literally just a quarter of a turn by hand, really, or as much as I can turn it by hand, which isn't very much at all. Use the spanner and you'll just feel the resistance change when it goes all the way in, and you'll also be able to see that there's no more of the coarse thread left. So you can go a little bit further after the thread has disappeared, but that's about it, I think. Another top tip, get yourself some Ziploc freezer bags, and that way when you've got a few bits left over at the end, you can just put them all together. You can write on them what they're for, and you can put them in the loft or wherever you keep your tool, things that you don't look at very often, in your garage, your basement, whatever your thing is. And then should you ever need to take them apart, if you move house, something like that, you'll have it all there and it'll be labelled. It can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming when you see all the bits and the pieces inside of an Ikea kit, but honestly it's actually much easier than it normally looks, and as long as you just focus on one thing at a time and using the instructions, or in this case my videos, you should find you don't have any problems. Do leave me a comment below if this is helpful, because all feedback is a gift, respectfully delivered, and I genuinely believe that. So first drawer runner we're going to get out, and it's very important with these drawer runners to make sure they're going in the right direction. Okay, so these drawers go in with these sort of stubby screws here, so we need a couple of those per runner. So you want type 4, and these are a number 2 posi. Your bit it will say PZ2. That's what you want. And make sure you line these up as well. Top tip, save you loads of time. Make sure that hook is not sticking out over the end of here, and make sure this hole is lined up at the end here, and the third one in here. Okay, the third one in here. And as I say, make sure that the U shape, the bottom of it, is as far as the further away from the top. So do not do it that way around, so that the U shape it becomes an N, and that's nearest the top. You want it like this, so a U on both of them, so the top is furthest away from the bottom of the U. And then when you line it up, make sure that, as I say, the front is the frontmost hole there, and the rear is the third most hole, just in about halfway. Rear one in halfway, and then all the way up to about talk of about 10 on your drill driver. Okay, so once again, I'm going to make sure that we've got this hook here inside the edge of the box, and as I say, the front one with a hook here, you can see, is on a hole. Rear one's on the third hole in, so that's how we're going to do it. Before you put the sides on, you want these thicker dowels in the holes just there. Just locate them by hand and push them in as far as you can by hand without straining. And then to get these dowels in, it really is always just a case of just gently tap it. Even if it's not perfectly aligned, just gently tap it until you hear the tone of the tapping change like that. Drop it down, line it up, and push, in. Get it down and push. That doesn't quite feel right. It's fine. It's hard to put the feet on, and they just locate into these little holes just here. And that will allow you to put it across either a wooden floor or a carpeted floor. Very better for a carpeted floor. If you want to use it on a wooden floor, I actually wouldn't recommend using these plastic spaces. Whilst they'll work, they're just not ideal for a wooden floor. What I would do is get yourself some pads, a bit like the feet that IKEA use on their bookshelf. They're just fibre pads, they've got an adhesive backing, and you can just take the adhesive off, put it onto the wood, get it on. So the plastic spacers, just push them right in. Effectively washers for those bolts there. You see this one's just come out, so it's fine. It just goes in like this. Simple as that. And then the bolt goes on top, obviously. But make sure it's pushed in all the way. So the sides of the desk are now on correctly. Okay, so we've got the white veneer here, and we've got the wood non-veneered side here, and the drawer opens obviously in the direction of the white veneer. So do be careful of that when you're aligning your sides and so forth, that the hook goes at the back, which is where the bare wood is. What you want to do is get the glass on the top, and you want the rear of the glass to be lined up with the bare wood at the rear of the desk there. So the rear of the glass, you can see, has got these holes on it. So get the glass up on the desk. Get it lined up, get it aligned, roughly equidistant, just a little bit closer to this edge. Put your brackets into the little rubber bit into the circular hole, like so. And then just push the glass top, just so it's putting a little bit of stress on those brackets, only a small amount. Line it up so you've got the same gap either. There is just a slight overlap of the wood over the glass, as you'd expect. Same with this side, but just push it away slightly as far as you can, which means there's a thinner gap just here actually. And then what you want to do, you can screw the screws directly into the wood. Personally, I like to drill a small pilot hole first, so I'm just going to turn the torque up, undo the screwdriver. I'm going to get a brad point wood bit in order to drill those pilot holes. In this case, I'm going to use the smallest I've got, which is 3mm. Just put the brad point in the centre of the hole there, push it in, and then just just a teeny bit there. Got these on about a 3 torque setting. Any more and I think you'll find it will be too much. I'd recommend doing the centre one first. That's it. Now we've got to get the drawer assembled itself. And fairly obviously, this is going to be the front, this will be the rear. These will be the two sides, right? It's fairly obvious. And as you can see, it's got a thin gap there, so it's going to go together something like that, so that the base can go in there. Yeah, so you want to start with this and the front and the two sides, and you want a couple of these kind of turrets. These have a PZ2 head on them, and they want to go into the smaller of these two holes. You see, you've got two holes here. You want to put just with your fingers as far as you can to the smaller of the two holes. And I do not recommend doing these up to a high torque. Yeah, more than enough. Honestly, I could even probably do it on a 2. That's it. Did not want to do those up particularly tight. Make sure you put the drawer unit on so that the gap here lines up with the gap here. And what's going to happen is that turret's going to push through that hole there. The head of it will appear there, and then we're going to put a cap in there, and it's called a clutch, I think, which we're going to twist, which is just going to grab hold of that and pull this in tighter. Okay, but before we do that, we've also got to put a dowel in here to provide the remaining structural support of the drawer. That one's gone in by hand. This one I think is going to need a bit of encouragement from a persuader. That's fine. Just check this is in. Yeah, that's fine. Again, make sure it's lined up. This to that, and also this hole is taking hold of that. Just gently ease it on. That's it. Nice and straightforward. Now for this, you're going to want a manual screwdriver. You will not want to use your drill driver. Okay, and these are a Phillips, not a posi. There's no fine posi bits. So these are a Phillips number 2 you want. Okay, so the wide bit here wants to go straight over the head of it, if you like, there. Okay, and there's a little arrow there pointing where it's going to point the arrow downwards first of all, just want a simple, and then you just put your screwdriver in here, almost half a turn actually, and then you can do it fairly tight. And what happens is it gradually just tightens it up, and yeah, just gives you a nice tight seam on that bottom drawer. Okay, same again, you want the arrow pointing down to begin with. That's it, nice and tight, job done. So now, once you've got the sides and the front it's all screwed together, you want to get the inside of the drawer in. There's a painted side and an unpainted side. Okay, so now it's in. Engage this gap here with the base here first. Okay, slide it along until it then locates in the side. It's just give it a bit of support and give it a bit of a push, and it just pops in. And then all the way over here, again, locate the base inside the gap and on the other side of here. And once it's all done, hold that and then just push, and just a bit of encouragement there, a bit of movement. Yep, and that's in place now. I have to say personally, I think these are pretty poor to be holding the back of a drawer, and you're not going to get much weight in this drawer unit, but this is what they've said to use. I think if I was going to put any weight in this, I would probably be tempted to get some L brackets from an ironmonger or Screwfix or Amazon or wherever you get your ironmongery from. Get some L brackets, and I'd probably use some pretty short, probably 12mm if that, screws to hold the L bracket in place, give it a bit more structure, rigidity. But obviously hammering them in does move the whole thing about a bit, which means this sideboard will probably come loose. Yep, but that's taken care of now. So you get these little kind of plastic straight sort of triangles with this little lip here, and the purpose of these is just to, what you do is you jam the lip into the tiny gap between the hardboard and the drawer support. You can put them anywhere, but they recommend in the instructions anyway to do them about a third, and leave a third in the middle. So right about there. Doesn't have to be precise. Then you use measuring tape. Just get it roughly. No one's ever going to look at it. If you want to be really precise, of course you can use a tape and work out what is a third in each direction. But just push them in like so. So they're pretty flush. There we go. And then get your drill driver. Set it to the lowest torque possible, honestly, on these. It is a number 2 posi screw. So that's pretty good now, that's pretty robust. Yeah, I've got to be a little bit careful with this. So the drawer sides will come out this way, and just put them all the way out. Now these hooks here, they're going to engage with the back of the drawer just there. That hook there is going to go in the back corresponding hole on that side there. That hook there, sorry, is going to go in that hole there, and correspondingly on that side, the hole there will engage with that hook there. And then on the front, you see that hole there. Well, that little pointing up bit there and that pointing up bit there, that's going to go into that hole and that hole respectively. So that's how they engage. Let's get it in. As you can see, to guide that in there, and guide that into there. So that's not correct. And on this side, it's quite a bit way out, quite a way out. Yeah, there we go. So that's in there now, and that is not in. So yeah, you need to do the rear one first. Okay, that rear one's in now. Okay, finally with the drawer, just important to adjust if you need to the height. Make sure you're comfortable. I think that's, to be honest, I think that's absolutely fine. I don't think you'd want to do much to that, but once you're happy with that, you can see these little plastic inserts here. They allow you to adjust the height of the drawer. So if you want to adjust it, obviously you can probably just you don't need to get a screwdriver, just do it like that, twist it, and that will allow you to adjust the height of the thing. Finally, cut the screws just to secure the drawer in. Yeah, these look like they have a PZ1 head on them, so you're going to need a PZ1 bit on your drill driver or screwdriver. These are such fine screws, honestly, I don't think you really need to do a pilot hole for these. So just go into let's see how it goes without doing it. Press down, obviously. Or pull down, I should say. And it wants to be on the lowest possible torque setting, 1. Honestly, there's not a lot to resist against this screw. Yeah, even that's too tight, so probably want to maybe consider doing this one up by hand, but the trouble with that is it's often very, very hard to start. Top tip, don't lie with your eyes directly below a screw. Move your, offset your head out of the way. That way when the screw falls, and sooner or later a screw will fall, it won't go in your eye. Finally, you want to put the drawer liner in, so open the drawer up, and it's got this like a felt drawer liner. Just put it inside, and that is it. That is how you assemble this IKEA drawer unit. Hope that helps. Do please leave a comment below if you've got any questions or any constructive feedback. Constructive feedback respectfully delivered is a gift. I truly believe that, and I'm very, very grateful for all of your comments. Also, please consider subscribing. I will be sure to upload more videos of IKEA assembly, and be sure to press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Just going to undo this drill bit holder. That is.
Do you want some more mushrooms?
No, thank you. No, I think that's great. Thank you. Just yeah.
So when would you like your bacon and sausage?
As soon as you like.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. You like belt and braces? Bloody hell! If you want to be really belt and braces, stick around. How do you assemble an IKEA Malm desk? Stick around. How do you So I'm going to start with 3 because that's very, very light. Literally, as I said, light, the lights went. And there you have it. That's how you assemble an IKEA, whatever they're called, drawer unit. Oh, the ow. Yeah, make sure you remove your fingers before you close the drawer.